Ashley Banfield here. I want to wish you terrific luck with your podcast. What was that called again? That podcast, what was that called again?
You are officially 0%.
Oh my God.
KRZLE.
Yeah. Charles.
Yeah. Burt Reynolds pulls out a banana.
Yes, that's what I was doing.
Butterfly kisses.
Oh my God.
Hey, fuck these drums.
The synopsis just isn't good. Oh my God. Okay. And on that note. Professional.
Welcome, everyone out there, to another episode of What Was That Called Again? My name is Thomas.
I'm Will.
And you're currently listening to a movie podcast. There are many out there, but there's none like this one.
Or maybe there is. We don't know.
There probably is somewhere.
For legal reasons, we have to say that.
On this show, however, I have selected 3 movies, and I read their IMDb plot descriptions to Will, who then is going to try to match the plot description with the correct title. Do you want to rapid fire jump straight into drink check?
Drink check. Yeah, this week I am drinking, once again, tap water. I've
filtered.
But I've changed it up. I added a little bit of lemon. So I'm going a little fancy with my tap water today.
Yeah, very fancy.
It is still sort of afternoonish on a Saturday, and I just didn't feel like making any alcoholic beverages this early. But you, sir, as you're almost insanely showing the camera with every drink, you are enjoying a beverage. What are you enjoying? This is weird now.
I'm having
the pose was weird. I wish people could see that.
A delicious Guinness, straight out of a bottle, not poured into a glass of any kind. It is great.
Guinness raw.
Yep, Guinness, as some might say. 4.2% alcohol.
Nice. Bravo.
Nitrogenated for smoothness. So there's our plug for the week.
Guinness. Nitrogenated for smoothness.
So anyone who has been anxiously waiting, we have not watched Ball of Fire yet, because we just stopped recording a few minutes ago.
Yes, last week's episode was just a few minutes ago, right?
Yeah, this is a twofer, a back-to-back rapid-fire recording session. We're trying to build up the backlog again so that we don't have to do this every weekend, because sometimes we want to do other things on our weekends off.
Sometimes.
So we're trying to build up the backlog that was diminished a couple months ago.
We had a good bank. At one time, we had several weeks of episodes.
We have 2.5 months worth or something like that.
Crazy.
We were 10 episodes deep. But I think after these 2 episodes, we'll have 4.
Okay.
So hopefully if we get 6 to 8, we'll be okay.
So that'll definitely give us time to go watch Happy Together, go watch Ball of Fire.
Yeah. Well,
and then
instead of recording the show, we can watch the movies that we say we're going to watch, maybe.
And then also add to our Letterboxd at WWTCA Pod. On Letterboxd, we can start adding the backlog of films we need to write about that we've talked about here on the show.
Yeah.
So banking episodes allows us to do that.
That is correct. It also keeps us from getting burnt out, so that we can keep providing quality content to you, our listener, whom I'm sure loves listening to us chat about our backlogs. And
this is the best part of the show.
And our distaste in recording weekly.
Yeah, it's not a distaste. It's just it's helpful to have some time off.
Non-preference, at least,
to recharge that creative segment. Because not that any of them have suffered. I will not say that. I think they all are good in their own right, to their own special mothers out there of those moments. But yeah, sometimes it helps just to take a break and not try to think of weird plots to movies we have yet to see. So banking helps.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm ready for this week though. And
I know I'm ready. I'm ready for some weird plots that we didn't come up with that I get to read you.
That's right. Yeah, that we didn't come up with. Yeah, and I'm feeling so good right now.
Oh, drum roll! Is that a drum roll I hear?
I'm feeling so good right now. I'm gonna get 1 out of 3.
Oh, wow!
I mean, last week I did that, but then I changed and I messed it up. I think the week before that I also got 0. So I haven't been doing too great lately, is what I'm saying. I think I'll get 0 on the first go, and then I'll get 1 on the redo.
The opposite of like a full on.
I can't hat trick it yet.
Yeah, a hat trick of zeros.
That's right. Still a hat trick.
Well, if you are set, we're going to be going in reverse chronological order of release this week.
So complex. Yeah, I'm ready.
Yeah. Starting out, your first film this week is going to come from the year 2009.
All right. I graduated then.
From preschool. Not District 9. Yeah, this was your preschool. Your senior year?
Of preschool?
Close to it. Close to it now.
Yeah.
Your synopsis for this film, directly from IMDb, reads as follows.
You said this is not District 9. Okay.
No, not this time.
What else came out?
It's the same year, though. It came out the same year.
Yeah.
A romantic comedy that explores the adult film industry through the eyes of an idealistic 25-year-old award-winning film school grad.
Okay. Say this one more time.
Yep, there's a lot of descriptive words that whoever wrote this put onto it. But a romantic comedy that explores the adult film industry through the eyes of an idealistic 25-year-old award-winning film school grad.
Award-winning film school grad. Romantic comedy explores adult films through the eyes of a 25-year-old award-winning film school grad. Okay. That does not sound or feel familiar. Well, it kind of feels familiar a little bit. But I think I'm thinking of something else. So I'll just say it does not sound or feel familiar. The award-winning film school grad part really throws off any familiarity to this at all. I have no idea what that is. Okay. Next film. That was 2009 too. Okay.
Yep. Your second film is going to come from the year 1979.
Oh, wow. Okay. Throwing it back.
Yep. Throwback. Your synopsis for this film on IMDb reads as follows. A religious businessman from Michigan has to venture into the world of pornography in California, desperately searching for his runaway teenage daughter.
Oh my gosh. Okay, first, a religious businessman from Michigan has to venture into the world of adult cinema to find his runaway daughter?
Yep.
First off, what is a religious... I assume that he's just a businessman who is also religious, but how I initially heard that was that his business was religion, like he's selling communion wafers, or he's like he
fresh Bibles hot off the press.
Yeah, he's got
50% off this week only.
Maybe he sells like pulpits or pews. I don't know what, that's what I first went to. Now that I think about it, okay, he's just a businessman who's religious.
Yeah.
Okay.
I assume so. I have not seen any of these three. I'll say that up front.
It could be both. He could be a religious guy whose business is also religious paraphernalia.
Yeah.
Okay. 79. That's not. I have a big blind spot for early 80s late 70s and like 80.
I will say, yeah. I mean, this isn't any kind of a hint or any info or anything like that. Out of the three movies this week, that one is probably the one that I want to see the most. I plan on watching that very soon, hopefully.
All right. Okay.
And we'll get to that. Your third film this week, which I also am very interested in seeing, comes from the year 1975.
Okay.
And the IMDb synopsis for this reads as follows. A young, once great Hollywood film director refuses to accept changing times during the early 1930s and confines himself to his decaying mansion to make silent porn flicks.
Wow. Okay. 75. Read this one again for me.
Mm-hmm.
I got most of it. I just want to make sure I get all the little details.
A young, once great Hollywood film director refuses to accept changing times during the early 1930s and confines himself to his decaying mansion to make silent porn flicks.
So a young, once great film director in the 1930s confines himself to his decaying mansion where he makes silent porn flicks. So this is a period film. This is a 1975 period film set in the 30s.
Yeah.
Or at least, around the 30s. Interesting. That to me so far sounds the most interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. That doesn't sound familiar or feel familiar. But then part of me is also like, there's also part of me that does say that like I maybe know this in a weird way. I don't think I've ever seen this though. Okay. I'm ready.
For the titles?
Yeah. I have nothing else. Sorry.
Okay. I'm ready.
I'm ready.
Your first title this week that I'm going to give you is going to be Inserts.
Oh, gross. Okay. There's like 2 films about porn.
They're all 3 are.
Oh, wait, the first one was 2?
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Okay, so wait. I guess I should have recapped these before I just moved on. That's the part I forgot.
Okay.
I'm ready. Clearly, I'm not ready. So the first film was a 2009 movie. It was about from the perspective of an award-winning film student. It was a look at the adult film industry.
Yeah.
The second film was 1979, and it was about a religious man a religious businessman from Michigan who has to go to California and find his way through the adult film industry to find his daughter who ran away. The last one was 1975. A young, once great director in the 1930s secludes himself in his decaying Hollywood mansion where he makes silent porn flicks. Okay, so now you can take the clip from earlier where I said, "Okay, I'm ready," and you can cut it in here because I think now I'm ready. Okay, I think I'm actually ready now. Title me, please. I really forgot about recapping all these. I just wanted to rush into it.
Once again, your first title is going to be Inserts.
That's right. So these all have to do with adult films, and one of them is titled Inserts. Okay. The question, though, is...
What is being inserted?
Well, yeah.
and where?
Because it could just be inserting adult images in magazines or in other books. It could be that this religious businessman has little religious saying cards that he inserts into things. I don't know what this is. Yeah, I have nothing. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it has anything to do with the 1930s. Maybe that's kind of what they called adult films, where these are inserts. Maybe that's the term for them. Maybe, and they were shorts, and they just put them in between bigger films. But he secludes himself away in his mansion to make these. So I wonder if he's actually making these for distribution, or if he's just kind of doing them just sort of to stay in the game as far as keep his talents honed. No one actually gets to see these things. I'm curious about that. And then the first film was a look at the adult film industry from the perspective of a award-winning film student. I mean, I don't feel like Inserts has anything to do with that at all. Okay, next title, please.
All right, your second title is going to be Hardcore.
Dang it, this sounds familiar. Hardcore. I don't know if that would be a movie. I could see that being a title in the 70s, but I don't know if you would call that about your movie that's actually set in the 30s. Especially like a silent film. And then I also don't feel like a religious guy from Michigan going to California. I don't feel like that would be called hardcore either. So I feel like this one might actually settle in nicely with the 2009 film for now. Hardcore. And that does sound familiar. I don't know why that sounds familiar. Okay, next, third title, please.
Your final title to work with is going to be Finding Bliss.
That also sounds familiar. Finding Bliss. Oh, man. Immediately I wanted to go with the 1979 film with the religious businessman from Michigan. Because he's looking for his daughter who ran away. So there's a finding element there, right? Maybe she found happiness in this new life. And then maybe he has some kind of discovery where it's like a parent letting go, even though it's like against his core, finding bliss. But then it could also be this once great director who decides to lock himself away in his mansion that's falling apart to make porn flicks, and he finds happiness in that, finding bliss. So we have inserts, hardcore, and finding bliss. I still really don't know where inserts goes. I do feel like hardcore rings a bell for some reason. And I don't feel like hardcore goes with the Michigan guy who's religious from 1979. I don't feel like it goes with the 1975 film about a 1930s director. So I feel like I'm going to have to just keep hardcore with the 2009 film, which is a look at the adult film industry or something like that, from the perspective of an award-winning filmmaker. Correct?
Yep, a romantic comedy.
I forgot about that part too. Yeah,
explores the adult film industry through the eyes of an idealistic 25-year-old award-winning film school grad.
Romantic comedy thing.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I might just have to go with. And that could be inserts though. Romantic comedy. Okay, I'm gonna just because I think I'm gonna get one of these right. So if I get one of these right, then I'll feel good. So I'm gonna keep the 2009 film, the romantic comedy, about a look at the adult film industry through the eyes of a award-winning film director or student film director, student filmmaker, as
film school grad.
He doesn't make movies at all. He just graduated film school and then he left the whole industry. Film school grad. I want to set that one as hardcore. And I really feel like it's a missed opportunity if the 1979 film is not named Finding Bliss. So I'm going to say that 1979, the religious businessman from Michigan who goes to California to find his daughter in the porn industry, the adult film industry, after she ran away. I'm going to say that one's Finding Bliss. And then inserts, for whatever reason, I don't know yet why, other than maybe it's some kind of term for these silent porn flicks. I want to call that one inserts. Final answer.
And with that, then your prediction was that you would get
one right.
One right. Do you feel like you met that prediction, or do you feel like you exceeded it?
I feel like I got hardcore right, and I'm confident on that. But I mean, that doesn't mean anything. It just means that I feel like that's right. So the problem is that if you do tell me I got one right, then I'll probably have to keep that one there, and that has proven to be my fault for weeks now. So, yeah, I don't know if I've got it or not.
Yeah, you got one right.
Oh, damn it. Okay. I'm going to say that I got inserts right. I'm going to say that the 1975 film about the young director, once prolific or whatever director, who's secluded into his dilapidated Hollywood mansion, who makes porn flicks. I'm going to say that one's inserts, actually. And then I'm going to say, sorry, not actually, I'm going to keep that one as inserts. And so I'm going to say that Hardcore is actually the 1979 film about the religious businessman dad from Michigan who goes to find his daughter who ran away to the adult film industry in California. Calling that one Hardcore. Because I also think, like, I've heard Finding Bliss. I've heard of that title. And maybe that would be something that would definitely be a title that a film school graduate, an award-winning film school graduate, would put on a movie about pornography, about the adult film industry. I think that individual would call it Finding Bliss. Now, it's a romantic comedy, so this isn't a documentary, but I feel like maybe there's a movie within a movie here. Possibly. Okay, so again, that's 2009 is now Finding Bliss. 1979 is now Hardcore, and I'm keeping inserts as the 1975 film.
Okay. With that shuffle, you're officially at 3 out of 3.
Oh, nice! I took a gamble. It really was a gamble. I almost kept Hardcore where it was at, but I learned my lesson from many, many shows where I ignore my confidence.
If you think that one's correct, then change the other one.
Exactly. I ignore my confidence. But also, the more that I thought about Finding Bliss, especially in that second in that shuffle, I do feel like I've at least seen the poster or have heard about this movie. So it might just be that, like, it's buried in there with everything that happened in 2009 for me. Mm-hmm. Maybe that's why.
Well, for a really quick bonus round, do you think you can guess which one of these 3 movies was given an NC-17 rating?
I mean, I will say. I don't know. I'll say the 79 film.
Hardcore?
Hardcore, yeah.
That is incorrect. Inserts. It's NC-17. The other 2 are rated R.
Oh, wow. Okay. And is inserts...
5.
I mean, you're about to tell us about these films, so I guess I could wait. But I'm curious. In my mind, I've pictured inserts being black and white.
Yeah, these are all 3 in color. I can say that, definitely.
All right.
So Finding Bliss from 2009 from director Julie Davis. The only thing that I have for you here is that it's currently available to buy on Amazon digitally. It's not available to rent, unfortunately, or stream. And several cast members who play actors in one or both of the movies within the movie are actual porn actors.
So that means
yes,
there's probably some like full frontal nudity going on here, probably.
Yeah, I did read that there was brief. What I read was that there was brief frontal male nudity, and the rest of it seemed like it was fairly tame as far as nudity. Like, there was not much.
And I would imagine so, because I bet it's more of like just a look at the industry as a whole, not necessarily them trying to make a which could also be why they chose to cast actual porn actors, is because they wanted that more realistic viewpoint than trying to write that or trying to act that or whatever.
Mhm.
Interesting. Finding Bliss. It's about finding love while making adult films.
Yeah. 1979 Hardcore, written and directed by someone you may have heard of named Paul Schrader.
Okay.
Um,
Except this title also sounds familiar. This really does. I don't know if I've heard of this or if I'm just remembering a different movie. Maybe. I don't know.
if you're not familiar with Paul Schrader,
No,
off the top of your
sorry.
head,
I thought you were asking me.
no. He is the screenwriter, probably best known for Taxi Driver.
Right.
He also co-wrote Raging Bull. He has been a pretty prolific director as well as writer over the years. Seems like he has a movie coming out that he directed all the time with varying quality. One year he might put out a movie that's like horrible, and then the next year he puts out one that gets like Oscar buzz. Like it's
Right.
It's wild.
It's all over the place.
Yeah, Paul Schrader, fascinating person. Has some hot takes politically, but can't all be perfect, I guess.
That's right.
This movie stars George C. Scott, Peter Boyle,
Okay. Oh,
Susan Hubley, and Dick Sargent. So on this movie, George C. Scott was not a fan of working with Paul Schrader. And at one point, he threatened to not come out of his trailer and quit the film.
Wow.
And he only agreed to come out of the trailer and continue working after Paul Schrader promised him that he would never direct again.
I mean, how do you keep that promise? Because it's like, if he comes out and acts in your film, then you just direct again. Like, what is he going to do?
Yeah.
Not do it? Yeah. Okay.
Exactly. So yeah, for anyone out there, Paul Schrader definitely did not keep that promise.
No. No.
He has like a new movie every year. It seems like almost all the time. So
I promise I'll never direct again. Just come out and do this one movie. All right. If you promise, I will.
This movie was filmed on real locations at real sex shops, strip clubs, porn theaters, and massage parlors, and adult film studios.
Oh.
George C. Scott later said, although he liked the script, he would not have done the film if he had known that it would be shot in real life seedy locations.
Oh, so he...
Yeah. It is at the time of recording, which is the end of June 2024. It is currently streaming on the Criterion channel.
Okay.
You should be able to rent it as well on Amazon. And your final movie from 1975 is Inserts, the feature debut from writer-director John Byram. This movie stars, the same year as Jaws, this stars Richard Dreyfuss.
Oh, okay.
Jessica Harper.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Veronica Cartwright, who is in Alien and the Birds. Bob Hoskins.
Oh, wow.
Stephen
This is
Davies.
a great cast.
And that is the whole cast. It was filmed on a single set with 5 characters. There are 5 people in the entire movie.
This is interesting. So
Veronica
it's small cast, small great cast, and it was a director's first foray into directing.
Yep.
And it's also a period piece.
Yep. Made for $200,000. 5 people, 1 location. Veronica Cartwright said in interviews and convention appearances.
$200,000?
Yeah.
Is that today's money or then?
I don't know. The trivia just said 200,000. I assume then.
Because that's like a lot of money
for sure.
For 75.
I can't say for sure though.
It must have all went to just the actors.
Yeah, I don't know. Veronica Cartwright said in interviews and convention appearances that she considers her performance in this to be her best work. And John Byram, the writer-director, once said, quote, "People seem to think it's either the worst trash or a piece of thundering genius. I see it simply as a love story."
Okay.
End quote.
Fair enough. Yeah,
And with that,
maybe $200,000 isn't a lot of money for 1975. It just feels like it's a lot of money for 1975 for a movie that has 1 location and 5 people in it.
yeah.
I mean, because clearly today that would be like still a multi-million-dollar production, but it just still feels like a lot of money. I don't know why. To me,
well, they built the set, so there's at least some money that's in that.
Well, and again, that
Richard
cast,
Dreyfuss, I assume.
I'm guessing that cast is taking most of that change.
But then I don't know how much the other people. Like, I don't know how well known
$4.
the rest of the cast.
They did it for free.
Like Jessica Harper hasn't done Suspiria or anything yet,
right?
So
right.
I don't know what else she was doing at this time.
Yeah, I guess the 75. Maybe it is. I mean, except for Dreyfuss, maybe it
Veronica
is kind of
Cartwright. Alien hasn't been made yet,
right?
Or I guess The Birds has though.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Interesting. I mean, maybe $200,000 is good as far as what it should have cost, but to me, that just feels like a lot of money. And also, I'm wrong a lot. So there's also that. All right. Now I have to try to rank these though.
Yeah.
So you have one that has, like, in my opinion, an amazing cast, but it's also the NC-17 film, correct? So
Correct.
I don't know. That's rough. I mean, NC-17 in 1975 that had some weight to it. It wasn't just like X or whatever.
Adjusted for inflation, 200,000 and back then is equivalent to about 1.275 million.
So you say it that way, and it sounds like this movie was made for nothing. Which, I mean, 200,000, I guess, in movie world is actually nothing. So there is that. So maybe it's more amazing that they got this cast and a whole set built for $200,000.
Cumulative rate of inflation since then, 537%.
Oh yeah, nice. Half of that
what
was
do you
this
think
year.
Right. What do you think on these ratings?
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Like, the one that for me has like the cast that I want to see the most is also the movie that is the NC-17 film, and then the other two, I have no idea where they would be. It feels like the 2009 movie is going to be at the bottom end of this ranking, just because it seems like a really weird for these three compared to each other. This one seems kind of out of place, other than the whole like adult film connection. So what's the range first? Well, I'll say that the range. How mean do I want to be to Finding Bliss? That's the question. I will say that the lowest film is 5.2, and then I'll say the highest is 6.5. So I say 2009 Finding Bliss is going to be number 3, third position. I'm just going to go with it, and it's a gamble, but it's mostly just my bias of wanting to see this film. I'll say that Inserts is number 1, and then that puts Hardcore number 2. Hardcore sounds interesting too, and again, like an interesting cast. But I kind of just want to see the performances of the cast of Inserts. So I'm gonna, again, that doesn't mean anything as far as quality. It could all suck, and they could have been given a horrible script, and the direction from this guy his first time could have been bad too, I guess. But I'm gonna just say Inserts is number 1, Hardcore number 2, Finding Bliss number 3.
All right. Your lowest rated with a 5.2.
Okay.
Is
what did I say?
Finding Bliss.
I said 5.1.
You said 5.2.
I said 5.2. Okay. All right.
Yeah, you nailed it.
Nice.
The middle one with a 6.3.
Okay.
Is Inserts.
Oh, dang.
And the highest rated with a 7.0 is Hardcore.
There's a good spread too on the ratings for this one.
Yeah.
All right, so Hardcore won it out, but with a 7, and even 7. I still want to see Inserts because it just sounds the movie just sounds really interesting.
I agree.
As far as being like this sort of like this period, early Hollywood, period film, and it's about silent films. It's about a once great director, and that usually plays really well for movies, contemporary films. And then it also has this like kicker of being about like adult films, which is really interesting. And then hardcore, it still sounds fun. It sounds interesting that it was filmed in like actual locations. I don't know if that helped or hurt it. I won't know until I watch it, I guess. But I could see where that could make people uncomfortable, which could add to their performances if that's what they're going for.
The people where it was shot were evidently very uncomfortable because it was shot in, I think I read it was shot, a lot of the stuff was shot in like Grand Rapids, which is said very conservative area.
I've been there. Yeah.
And
I've been there before.
It said that they shot it under, like while they were there in production, they had like a fake name because they didn't want anyone to know exactly what it was that they were doing.
Called hardcore. What are they doing?
And then whenever they found out, later on, whenever they found out like what it was, they were the town people, I guess, were like very upset.
You're getting that pornography out of here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's interesting that they decided to sub Grand Rapids in for Chicago or for California.
Well, he's from Michigan. I don't know.
But he said he went to California though.
To California, yeah. I don't know.
So I'm assuming that the adult film portion of the movie where he goes to find his daughter takes place in California. So they just did all that in Grand Rapids.
I'm unsure.
That's interesting. I mean, I've been there. I wouldn't say it looks anything like California. We have a quote for this week.
I definitely do, and it was shot in Los Angeles and Grand Rapids.
Okay, so they shot the Grand Rapids parts in Michigan, or they shot the Michigan part in Grand Rapids, So maybe he like walks in. His daughter just ran away, and for some reason he's like trying to sell Bibles to this like sex toy shop in Grand Rapids, and then he like sees his daughter's face on like a little pamphlet, you know. He's like, "What? I gotta go to California."
Yeah, I don't know. A lot of these the locations listed on IMDb, like a bondage house, a massage parlor, porn shop. Those are all
that is
California,
the thing.
San Francisco.
Oh yeah, that makes more sense. But I was about to say, like, there is a thing about the hidden seediness of conservative areas. so they might have been mad that the film was there, but necessarily not against what was actually happening. They just didn't want the secret to get out.
Yeah, we do have a quote. This is where I read a quote to Will, and I read the quote directly from IMDb as it's written. I have not seen any of these movies. I cannot confirm or deny that this quote is really from the movie that it claims to be from. Somebody could have just put it on there. We don't know, but I'm going to read it, and Will's going to try to find out which movie is associated with it.
And a character of your choosing. Is this one person or two people?
This is going to be one line from one character and another line from another character.
Okay, back and forth. Here we go.
Yep. And the quotes as written read as follows.
You really should clean your pool.
Where would I piss?
You really should. Bravo, by the way. You really should clean your pool. Where would I piss? That's good. Where do I? That's awesome. Who is the one that's remarking on the pool? And then the question is the pool dirty enough that someone is getting into it and pissing, or are they just from the outside? It's so dirty they don't even get into it anymore. They just walk up to it and pee in it. Okay, I'm going to leave out Finding Bliss. This does not feel at all like it's the 2009 film. You better say it again. You should really clean your pool.
You really should clean your pool.
You really should clean your pool.
Where would I piss?
Where would I piss? I feel like this is inserts. I feel like this Hollywood mansion has a pool, and part of it being run down is that the maintenance of the pool has not been kept up. And I feel like I don't know who's suggesting the pool should be cleaned, but I feel like the person who's saying "Where would I piss" is definitely this director, this once great director who has fallen. So I'm going to say inserts.
Bingo.
Nice.
You really should clean your pool is stated by a character named Harleen, played by Veronica Cartwright.
Okay.
And Where Would I Piss is delivered by a character Boy Wonder, played by Richard Dreyfuss.
Boy Wonder. Dreyfuss plays Boy Wonder. Okay. Yep. That's even more intriguing. So I think we have to immediately figure out where in the what takes place in this scene where the lines are given where you should really clean your pool, where would I piss? So is Dreyfuss Boy Wonder the director character?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, that's right. That's nice. So Dreyfuss is this. See, I want to see this even more now because Dreyfuss is great, and then seeing Dreyfuss as this once great Hollywood filmmaker, like resorting to adult film, like that's awesome. I really want to see this movie now. So we call him Boy Wonder. Is that really his name in the movie? His credit name? Boy Wonder. So we don't even give him an actual name. Okay, Boy Wonder. So
and then they rap, and then he goes to shoot Jaws, or vice versa, which is funny to think of too.
Yeah, it is. Okay, Boy Wonder. So where does this take place? This is you said this is Cartwright's line.
Yeah.
Okay, so is this early in the movie where we're being introduced to her character coming over, or have we already known this character for a while? Is this the first thing she says to Boy Wonder, or has she been there and worked on a few other films with him, and now she's maybe getting close with him?
Yeah, this is not her introduction scene.
Okay.
I honestly don't have a very interesting, I don't think, thing to say about this. I honestly think my real guess is that this probably just comes up in the midst of like a random conversation.
Okay.
Like telling him that he needs to like get his shit together or something.
Okay, so the scene is that this Cartwright character is maybe worried about Boy Wonder.
Harleen is the name of the character.
Okay, so maybe Harleen is worried about Boy Wonder in the sense that she's trying to like point out like, hey, like you should, like get yourself together or whatever, right?
Yeah.
So they have some sort of relationship.
There's like a pizza box and like a few slices of pizza
floating in the pool. All right,
it's like that's the first leaves. And
that's the first question: is how bad is the pool? So you're saying there's actually like physical junk within the pool too?
Yeah.
Okay, I like that a lot. I think there should be like a half inflated pool floaty, like floating. Like there's a shot where the camera comes up like water level, and a pool floaty like floats mid screen across, like half inflated. There's definitely
like possum at the bottom.
Yeah, there's some kind of debris on the bottom of the pool. It's just laying there. So where is Boy Wonder in this scene?
I think he's just
because I picture him like lounging next to the pool with some like shades.
Oh, I pictured him inside the house.
Okay. Well, explain your picture then.
Like locked away in his bedroom, lounging.
So he never goes outside.
Like robe and underwear on.
Yeah,
that's it.
Yeah. That's what I was picturing with him lounging outside. I do kind of like yours in the sense that maybe Harleen is trying to get him to go out and get like fresh air or at least sun. And so she's like, hey, you should clean your pool or whatever. Just as like hey, you have this thing you could be doing other than just laying in here, basically rotting away.
Yeah, you were once a great Hollywood film director. What are you doing?
You should get out more. And I don't want to. I just I like it in here. It's cozy. Got my robe. Well, you should at least clean your pool. Well, where else would I piss?
You're the man who started your career directing Citizen Pain.
So are you saying that there's parody titles back in the 1930s as well? Oh my gosh. Okay.
I was thinking like this is like a fucking like they're ripping on Orson Welles for some reason. I don't know.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. Yeah.
I don't know why they would. I've never heard anything bad about Orson Welles. I don't know why they'd just be like ripping on him.
Well, in his later years, he was a definite character, but not in the 30s, not in his younger years. But that'd be funny though. They're just like commenting on
Citizen Bane.
Okay, so where in the movie does this scene take place?
I assume I don't know. It's good. I mean, this could take place literally anywhere.
I kind of want this to be so. I want his story that he's like. I don't think this director like has an arc. I think he starts off like kind of bad as far as his life isn't great.
Mm-hmm.
He might do some like he might have like a fun time in the middle with these adult flicks. But then I think because it's the 30s and maybe the Depression's coming or whatever, I think times are changing. And then all of a sudden these flicks don't do the business that they used to do. So then he ends the movie still just as like he doesn't come out of this bad place that he's in. So the only arc is that he had a midpoint where it was higher than now. But I think the beginning and end are low points for sure. Because I kind of feel like this would be an awesome like final line in the film, right? Like, like they've done.
You should really clean your pool. Where would I piss?
Where would I piss? And then literally, Harleen just like kind of like looks back at the pool, and then she like just stands there, and he's like lounging back on his sofa in his underwear and his robe. And the camera just starts to pull out backwards, and then music and titles. Like that's it, right? That's what I see. Whereas where would I piss? Because he's basically I want this to be a moment where like at the end of the film, he's kind of saying like, why should I change? Why should I started low. We had some fun in the middle. I'm back to being low again. Clearly, there's no way out of this life that I have. So where else would I piss? Like I just want it to be that.
I do not at all think that this is part of the movie. I'll say that first. But what if he?
Oh, I think the line. I was like, well, what do you mean the line? Clearly,
no. What if he, at the end of this movie, does something to intentionally cause himself to go deaf, so that he can like. He'll remain in the silent, like everything will be like silent film.
So his life will be silent.
He doesn't want to accept the changing times of the.
he's just really stuck in the 30s. Yeah. Wow, that's sad.
Yeah. So he makes himself go deaf to forever live with silent cinema.
Or what if we changed? Because I do like that level of despair. What if we change and put this where would I piss line towards the beginning of the film? And then throughout the whole film, the pool just gets worse and worse. Like he's doing all these projects that are, seedy and underground, but they're still making him money and he's at least enjoying things. And then shit starts to fall apart. And he realizes that like the only way to really come out of all of this is, like you said, to change, to accept the new standard. And he's so, I guess, stuck in or hesitant to leave his mind of where he was the pinnacle of filmmaking in the silent era that he chooses to stay here, right? So the whole film, we see this pool get worse and worse and worse. And then at the end, what if he's just like standing on the ledge of this horrible pool that he's admitted to maybe pissing in, if maybe jokingly, but it looks horrible either way. And he just like on the ledge, standing there with maybe like some kind of cocktail in his hand or some kind of alcoholic beverage in his robe. And then he just like falls forward, like face first into the pool. And that's the end.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it'd be cool too if like we're outside with him as he's standing on the edge of the pool watching the shit float in the pool. We can hear maybe the birds or whatever, the wind. And then right as he starts to fall forward, we cut to inside the house. So whenever he falls into the water, it's just silent. It's just the visual of him. So it's silent. That's maybe the end. What were you thinking?
I always just love that whenever we're doing a creative segment like this, there's just like some random throwaway line that somebody put on IMDb and we like make it a serious like focal point of the movie.
Not only is
that
it just
pool, we keep seeing like how dirty that pool is.
Not only is it like a random line, but it's also potentially like just a random line that you chose out of many random lines on IMDb. You were just like, this one has piss in it. I'm going to read this one.
I was like, this is the only one that wasn't like a long dialogue back and forth.
Yeah. And then we're like, no, this has meaning.
The
and
final
it's
shot is him falling into the pool.
It's just him in the water, and it's just like you see over his shoulder this like gold stream like falling out of his, and it's just like filling up the pool, and he just falls forward, and the silent splash at the end, and then credits. Yeah, exactly.
Fucking pool.
If this movie does not have that pool featured more than once, I'm going to be sad.
I'm wondering if there's ever a pool on screen at all. Part of me just seriously thinks that this is seriously just a line that's just said, and it's to fucking just convey how he like doesn't give a shit, and he's like done, and he's like secluding himself in his house.
I mean, listen, that's probably likely.
Falling face first into the pool.
Silent too, a silent splash. And then we just stay inside the house where it's dark and everything's kind of decrepit, and we never see him come up for air, and the credits just go in this like long 2-minute credit scene where we're just in the house and there's no music, there's nothing. Yeah. we just took this film into like a really like art house like level.
The fucking swimming pool just because this person says it in this quote that I pulled.
Where else would I piss? I love it. Oh God. What was that called again?
I derailed the end of that accidentally by laughing so much. I'm sorry.
That's fine.